This lone surviving member of my US Army Bazooka Squad managed to single-handedly take out not just one, not even only two, but three German anti-tank gun emplacements as I was infiltrating this occupied town in order to clear a path for the Sherman tanks of my mobilized regiment to move forward and relieve a surrounded Ranger Infantry battalion on the front lines of France. Man of War 2 is perfect for making memorable gameplay moments such as this one, which will stay with you for a long time after you have enjoyed this World War II combat simulation game. And I say this as someone who played the first game by these developers back in 2004, which was named Soldiers Heroes of World War II. And to this day, I still remember endlessly replaying a single scenario where a detachment of Soviet soldiers had to hold the road against advancing German tank divisions. Considering that mission is still so vivid in my memory even now, 20 years later, I think it is safe to say anyone of you playing Man of War 2 in 2024 will remember this gameplay for a long time to come. In this video, I will talk about the single player aspect of this game, but in my next one, I will show you the multiplayer, which has a highly dedicated player base of fans who keep playing the previous game even 10 years after release. Main reasons for this are full modding support, which has led to things like Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, which is just stunning and complete with lightsaber wielding Jedi and Sith. Another reason is direct control of units, which you can enter with a single keyboard key, and you have different ways of controlling units depending on the type. Tanks feel like playing World of Tanks, individual soldiers like some old arcade third-person games, and the artillery unit combat from the first-person perspective is totally unique, especially how it is a team effort of the whole crew which you can control individually. The open beta in which I played the scenario missions I have shown you here had 3 of these, each giving you a taste of infantry, armor and artillery warfare of the US, Red and German armies battling each other. These were missions on big maps which expanded as you finished objectives and had mini stories complete with voiceovers for characters.
There's a village to the east of it, so don't drop your guard.
Now let me take you through the US Army one I have shown you at the beginning of the video, as it allows me to show you each type of unit and gameplay in turn. We start off with a US motorized regiment and command of 3 M4 Sherman tanks, with the rest of the regiment as an allied convoy which will follow the path our tanks will clear with the objective to relieve a Ranger Infantry battalion on the other side of the map. Ahead is a small village defended by German soldiers we need to clear out before the convoy can move forward. It is a mismatch of firepower to be sure, and the tanks use their medium caliber high explosive shots and multiple heavy machine guns, making short work of the defenders. 2 things I have to point out here: the fluid movement and responsiveness of these tanks, as well as fantastic performance of the game despite maximum graphical settings, 4K resolution, lots of effects and explosions. This great performance also extends in the multiplayer, but I will talk more about that in my next video on Man of War 2. And until then, you can tell me in the comments, have you played these games before or anything similar? Things do heat up in this one-sided attack once German armored reinforcements come in the form of a Panzer III. Despite attacking frontally at the thickest armor, my M4 Sherman deals considerable damage, and the game shows that with individual damaged components or killed crew messages popping up above each tank. What is very fortunate is that these vehicles will always switch to the best type of ammunition for dealing with the target you have given them. So despite shooting at infantry with high explosive rounds, these tanks automatically switched to armor-piercing shells the moment they had the Panzer III in their sights. With the village now cleared, the convoy can move up the road to its objective. That is, until it hits another German position at a crossroads. Here we get to explore another feature of the game, which I have teased in the beginning of the video with that Sherman driving straight through that house. Destructible objects. Not only do things blow up in Man of War 2, but they can also be demolished and crushed under tank tracks. This extends from fences and oil barrels to light defense fortifications and entire buildings. Now the fun starts again, with the 3 M4 Shermans gunning down everything in sight from multiple directions and importantly from the flank of this fortified position, as anti-tank guns need time to change their orientation and engage targets which don't show up from the front. A counterattack was inevitable here, but with no cover, the German anti-tank squads get mowed down like summer grass. The lethality of units in this game is quite high, and this is why positioning matters so much, as once the battle starts, it can be over in seconds before you could do anything to change the outcome. The lone Panzer IV that shows up as armored support has a very bad day, as the first shots take out its tracks, stopping it dead, and successive AP rounds damage and then destroy its main gun. After that, it becomes a stationary practice target made of steel, and its crew, which tries to repair the damage from outside, just gets killed instantly. As a testament to German engineering, pieces of it do fly off, but it holds its ground as our Shermans are not in position to target anything but frontal armor. Changing this leads to its destruction quite quickly. Now, at the entrance to yet another village, the gameplay focus shifts to infantry, as 5 squads of differently armed US Army soldiers take on the task of clearing entrenched enemies and destroying anti-tank gun emplacements. You have a host of options here, as each soldier can be given individual orders: to sprint or duck walk, to crawl, to hide, use a melee weapon like a shovel or knife, or some type of explosives like grenades or dynamite. I wanted to go with a melee stealth approach, but I got spotted and soon attacked with the rest of my soldiers using their guns at short range, and everything goes belly up with even one of the AT guns taking a shot at my troops. I do attempt this approach once more, but something really strange happens. A knife throw misses at point blank range, and after some corner peeking and some more strangeness, I come out on top against 2 enemy soldiers. I am not sure if it was my inexperience with the game, or some bugs, or just terrible scripting, but yeah, that was ugly. Anyway, I order my soldiers to enter the village in force and spot a machine gun nest. This I deal with after some crawling, sneaking, and an anti-tank grenade, which takes everything sky high, even bugging out one of the enemy soldiers, who dies by standing up in a parade stance and stays like that. After that initial success, I run straight into another machine gun emplacement and lose more men. This time, after some more crawling and hiding in the bushes, I manage to lob a demo charge into that MG nest, and we get to watch some serious fireworks coupled with the game's amazing destruction effects. And yes, another corpse standing up after getting blown up. This time, the expanding pool of blood makes it even more unnerving. But to be honest, this is exactly why these developers delayed their game. They knew it wasn't ready for release, and instead of rushing for a 2023 release date, they gave themselves several more months to iron out such stuff. Here I am down to my last 3 remaining soldiers, a terrible cost paid to not being a good player of this game. I have my work cut out for me and several AT gun emplacements to blow up. This is where Gerald Davis, my bazooka king, goes on a rampage despite already missing his helmet due to taking a bullet in it probably, and starts to single-handedly solve all the remaining objectives, one by one. And this is where things once again change perspective, and we switch to artillery unit gameplay as the Bazooka King and his sidekick are surrounded inside one of the buildings in the village. On top of that, the church bell tower turns out to be a sniper's nest, and that dead-eyed German starts taking out my artillery crew one soldier at a time. Here I got to figure out how artillery works, as it was driven in attached to its transport vehicle, and I had to first detach it before finding a firing position. Naturally, this is a slow process with these heavy guns, while the sniper does some strange things to my crew and they fly off dead like they got hit by a howitzer and not a sniper rifle. we'll just chuck that up to more bugs to iron out. Now comes one of my favorite gameplay parts, shelling enemies from long range. You can dabble with this in the first person mode if you want by pressing the E key and then the Shift plus Q keys to take command of individual tasks of the artillery crew like moving or aiming. It is a really cool feature, but you might want to save the game before actually doing it, as you might lose the mission while you are experimenting. Soon my artillery boys get a clean hit and the sniper is history. After that, several more precise shots take care of the rest of the armor, suppressing my Bazooka King and his sidekick. I must admit, the explosions and destruction effects in this game and its predecessors, going all the way back to Soldiers, Heroes of World War II, are one of my favorites ever. The graphics might not be super polished or high resolution, but the effects just hit the right mark for me. You can tell me in the comments what you think of them. With that, my surviving infantry is free to leave the building where they were hiding, and I'm going to wrap up the single player showcase here as to not spoil the end of this scenario for you. You can see more similar games as cards on the screen or links in the description. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!